Hello, good morning, everyone. Happy Growth and Grace Day, otherwise known as Thursday. This morning, we're going to go into a little topic that's been coming up a lot lately in my life, sometimes with myself, sometimes with others. So we're going to dive into it and address it because it definitely will make a huge difference in how you live your life and the legacy that you're leaving. So I want to speak to it because it's a big deal. So that topic is questioning versus quitting. So let's see if I can keep these hands straight during the show today. Questioning versus quitting. There are things that come up a lot when we're in the middle of doing something that we're excited about or looking forward to, or we know that it's part of our passion or our vision, and we get up to do it and it's like maybe it starts out really strong and then it totally falls flat. Or we start out like, okay, I think this is what I want to do, and then we start getting deflated around it. Or, we start off strong and it's all going great, and then we keep running into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. So at what point do we look at everything that's going on and say, is this really what I should be doing, or is it time to quit? Like, are these all signs that I should quit? And good morning, Becky. Hi. I see your comment over there. I don't choose. God tells me what to talk about on these. So that is how I know. It's because he knows you. And so he just prompts me to speak about whatever that is, or he has me go through it so that I can speak to it directly. So that's the answer to your question. And I love you. Good morning. So questioning versus quitting, and this is something that comes up. We all run into it, right? Like, we all go through things at some point where we question and say, is this genuinely what I should be focusing on right now? Is this where I should be spending my time? Is this really what I should be putting my energy towards? Because it doesn't quite feel like it's working, or it doesn't feel like it's moving forward, or it's just getting frustrating and I feel like quitting. My cat would really like to drink out of this cup right now. That's his thing. He would knock it over if I wasn't here to drink the puddle. A little mischievous. And the question that I like to ask as I'm questioning these kinds of things and looking at these things is, this activity or this project that I'm working on, or this, thing that I'm trying to move forward, whatever that is. If it doesn't, like, when I'm looking at the, what that tangible thing is, I want you to put it through the filter of, is this in line with my vision? Because if it's in line with your vision, that's usually pretty much your answer to keep moving forward. If this thing is in line with your vision, then who but you is going to move it forward? If not you, continuing to move through the resistance, continuing to move through the roadblocks, continuing to overcome obstacles. If you're not going to do it and it's your own vision, who's going to do it? So that's one way to look at it. That's one filter to look through. The other filter that you can look through is when I'm thinking about quitting something, or I'm thinking about, this is just so difficult and I do not want to keep going, and I don't want to keep running into this resistance, running into these roadblocks, like, I just want to quit. When you're thinking about quitting, ask yourself, is that desire to quit, is it coming from a place of vision and like, okay, I really genuinely know that the reason that this resistance is coming up, the reason I'm not feeling in alignment, the reason that that I keep running into roadblocks is because this actually is not in line with my vision? Or another way to look at it is that decision from a place of fear? And fear is a tricky little bugger. It'll come up in all sorts of different ways. And so, for some people, it can be they don't want to move forward on something because what if it doesn't work and they have a fear of rejection? What if no one cares about what they're up to and no one supports them, and they've experienced abandonment before in the past, and so they would rather not move forward because it gives them the facade that it eliminates that risk rather than, put themselves out there and have no one take part in it. So, right, so fear of abandonment. Fear of success is a huge one. What if I do this thing and it actually works out and I experience, a new level in my life? There's all sorts of different types of fear that can crop up that can cause us to have those thoughts of, oh man, I would like to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like this. It's freaking me out, or it's feeling frustrated, or it's feeling exhausting. And, it's definitely something to look at if you've been trying to drive something forward for years and it only feels exhausting and tiring and like lackluster and blah and hard. And if that's the only feeling you have about it, and you don't still have that inner excitement or drive, or like, I'm doing this even though it's hard because I know this is what I'm up to. If it's only feeling heavy and hard, definitely explore that, look at that, and allow yourself to ask the difficult questions of, is this genuinely in line with my vision? Is this really where my passion is? Is this really where my strengths are best being used? Like, allow yourself to recognize, just because, missed the straw there, just because, something resonated with you 10, 15 years ago, 2 years ago, like 6 months ago, just because something resonated with you in the past and felt like, I'm going to give this a shot. If now it's only feeling heavy and it's only feeling like a weight in your life, that's something to look at. And sometimes it's a really hard realization. I've had that in the past when I worked in corporate America, walking away from a really great job at an amazing company with an incredible team and just an awesome manager and, all the things that looked so good on paper. But at the end of the day, I'd been there for a while and it was only feeling heavy. And so, looking at that, having the difficult conversations of, I don't think this is a fit anymore. It's not necessarily easy, but when you look at it and when you're kind of putting that filter on of, is this a vision decision or is this a vision decision? Oh, I like that. Okay, I just came up with that. I might use that again. Or is this a fear decision? Another way to explore that is to allow yourself to think through, okay, if I made the decision this way to continue going, here's what it could look like. Here's what I could shift to kind of bring that excitement back. Here's what I could, here's who I could loop in for support in this project, right? Like, there's different things that we could do to reignite that spark and really get us going again. Versus if you were to make the decision to quit, you could look at the possibilities like, okay, if I chose to quit and walk away right now, what would that cause? What would that create? What would that look like, honestly? And to be able to walk yourself through, obviously this is a what if scenario because we don't know until we're in it and doing it. But if you're being really honest with yourself, what could it look like? And allow yourself to feel the feelings. If you go through and you kind of make some changes and you decide, you know what, I really still believe this is in line with my vision. I still want to do this. I just have lost, my excitement for it. Then really allow yourself to get back into that excitement of like, okay, but if I have this person helping me, if we just made this tweak, if I could do that one piece to just, get that piece finalized, that would take that off my plate and I wouldn't be spinning on it mentally anymore. Like, go there and let yourself kind of get reignited in that. And if you go down this road of quitting and walking away, let yourself recognize, do you feel like, oh, man, I don't know, should I have given that up? I don't know. I don't feel great about that. Or, oh my gosh, how have I been living with this so long? Clearly there's such a weight that has been lifted by letting go of this, right? And sometimes it can initially feel like that questioning of, I don't know. But when you really go there and you really let yourself be honest, you can usually tell one way or the other if it's going to be burden of like, oh, I don't feel like I should have let that go. Or if it's going to be a weight lifted of, wow, whoa, how was I doing that? That was not a fit. And when you get really honest with yourself, and again, this is like gut check, really, really allow yourself to go there. That's going to help you make these kind of decisions as they come up, because they're going to keep coming up. We're going to keep running into situations like this. Even when you're super clear on your vision, even when you're very, oh goodness, I will wrap up soon because I'm apparently getting boring with my yawning here. Even if you're so clear in your vision, even if you know the steps you're taking to get there, even if you're, you know, you love the people that you're partnering with to bring it to fruition, even if all of that stuff is true for you, there's still going to be times when we run into roadblocks, resistance, obstacles, you know, things that we need to overcome, where it's a choice point of, do I keep going or do I say, no, I'm out? And it can, you know, sometimes part of the decision can be who else is going to be impacted by this. I remember this was a couple decades ago, and I was playing club basketball. And I had been on the team for a few years, and it was kind of the same core group of girls that moved through each of the years. And I just got to a point where I was not enjoying it. I didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't feel like I was really contributing to the team. You know, and you know, when you feel like you're not really good at something, then it feels like harder to want to put effort towards it, because you're like, I don't even feel like I'm good. I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of play time. I don't really feel like the team would miss me if I was gone. I don't feel connected to the other players, like socially awkward, and just all of these things were coming up. And so I wanted to quit. So I told my coach, I want to quit. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like this. And I want out. And in my head, what was going to happen was that he was just going to say, okay, all right, well, good luck to you, kind of thing. Like, in my head, it was going to be such an easy, like, obviously, if I want to quit, you're just going to let me quit. And he didn't have that response. Stinker. He said, well, I don't agree with that. We don't, you know, we're not, he didn't say raising, because he wasn't raising us, but, you know, we're not producing quitters here. So if you ultimately decide that you do want to quit on us mid-season, you get to tell the team. Like, that's going to be your responsibility to communicate that with your teammates, to let them know that you're quitting and walking away. And even in my, you know, young teenage mind, even in the, you know, the what felt like devastation of the moment, even then I could recognize he wasn't doing it as a guilt trip. It wasn't one of those, well, fine, but if you're going to do that, then you have to do this kind of thing. It was totally a great leadership moment where he showed me that my choices impact other people. And even if I don't necessarily see the impact I'm having on the team, me leaving is going to impact the team. And he put the responsibility back on me, because ultimately it was my choice. And because of that, because of knowing that I was going to have to tell my team I'm quitting, and I was going to have to deliver that message, and I was going to be the one that was going to have to, like, look them all in the eye as I'm going around telling them I quit, like, that for me had me not quit. I didn't return the next season, but I finished out that season because I saw the impact it was going to have if I tried to quit mid-season. And so allowing yourself to feel the feelings and recognize, okay, if I were to make this decision, who is going to be impacted? You know, another consideration, and I know I have this filter because I'm around a lot of entrepreneurs, but, you know, there's a lot of stuff that comes up when you're an entrepreneur, a lot of stuff, a lot of roadblocks that try to get in your way, because when you're up to something big, you're going to create waves, you're going to create movement, and there's going to be things and people that are resistant to that, and that are going to, in their own way, you know, try to stifle or cause you to not go big. And what that can look like is there's people who, you know, sometimes just want to walk away from their business. And at the end of the day, not only are obviously they're going to be impacted, their clients are going to be impacted, and their team is going to be impacted. So when you allow yourself to kind of get out of the mush of this initial like, oh, this is so difficult, and really see things and recognize all the different pieces that are in play, it can help you make a decision from a clearer place. So all of that said, questioning versus quitting, like, let yourself go there. Let yourself question. Let yourself really consider your different options. Let yourself look at, you know, is this the time to walk away or not? And what that could look like. And then make your decision accordingly. What I encourage you to do, though, is to not just flippantly make a decision in an emotional state. That rarely turns out well. So if you feel like you're extra frustrated, or you're just, you just, you know, experienced a hurtful, you know, moment, that don't just decide in that pain what you're going to do, because pain does not make good decisions for us. Fear does not make good decisions for us. So at the very least, consider from a calmer mind space, like, get out of that initial situation that caused all of the emotion, calm down, and then consider your options, and then make a decision. So with that, you guys, I'm going to hop off for the week, but I'll see you back here next Thursday, 6 a.m. Pacific, for another weekly episode of Growth and Grace. And as always, if there is anything you guys are specifically wanting to hear about, any questions that you guys have, like, feel free to reach out and ask so we can address them here on Growth and Grace. All right, have a phenomenal day, and I will talk with you guys soon. Bye for now.